Welcome to today's training. My name is Noel, and today we'll be looking at dictionary. Previously, we had seen list, tuple, sets, and strings. Today, we'll concentrate on dictionary. And so, what is dictionary? One may ask. Dictionary is a collective data type that is made up of a pair of value. In other words, it is a type of data that is collective in nature and it comes in twos. It is made up of pair of value. That is, it comes in twos. One is key, the other one is value. So let's see what it looks like. So this is the syntax. Let's start by that. So I'm sure you must have seen this before, and you'll be wondering, if I say that this is a dictionary, what about the other one, set? Set and dictionary almost alike, but the difference is that dictionary comes in pairs, where set comes singly. So let's for recap, so this is set. So anytime you see something like this is set. However, in dictionary you have a pair of value. Let's say this is one, so you can see this is what I mean by pair of value. Two, this. So always remember to put colon. So this colon is what separates both of them. The first one here is called key, while the second one is called the value. This is the key, this is the value. Okay, so now this is a data as it is. So the proper way to do is to assign it to a variable. So let's call the variable my dict. So let's say this is our variable here. So let's call it properly my dict. So so this is dictionary, this is set. You can see the difference. This difference is that this comes as a single number, while this comes like in a pair. However, both of them can contain any type of value, not just numbers. So as we progress, you will see how it is. Now, this first one, the one here is called key, while this one is called the value. So together they are called data type of dictionary. Now you can assign as many values as you wish, and it can accommodate any type of data in Python. So let's see how it goes. So like here we can add additional data here. Let's say name here. Always remember to put colon. The colon is what separates the key and the value. So as you can see here, I just put name, then I will give it a value. So the value here should be Noel. Now I can also come here and say age, and then give colon, and I say 22. So this is the value, this is the key, don't forget. Now if we run the code now, let's say we want to print our dict. So how do you print it? Don't forget to always pass whatever value you put, whatever variable you use here, you pass it to the print method. So here, for those who are just coming in contact with a dictionary for the first time, this is the value here. So whatever thing you have here, you save it into a variable. Whatever, you can name your variable whatever thing you like. Now what this means is that everything here is saved into this one, into this variable. Now this equals to, here in mathematics, it is called assignment operator in programming language. So what this means is that the entire of this value here is assigned to this one here. It's assigned to this variable. So I hope this is clear. If you are just this for those who are just coming in contact with programming language, or those beginners anyways. So now this is clear now. So let me remove this since we are not making use of sets. So let's run this code and see what it will give us. So as we run it, it will give us the entire thing here, as you can see. So what does print method do? Print method is used to, to display the item you saved in a variable. So anytime you have a value and you want to see it, you use print method to to display it, or to show you the output. So this is the output, this is the input. I hope this is clear to you. But if you have any question, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be happy to help out. Now let's move on. Suppose we want to add uh, additional item to here. So how can we do that? We then say, okay, fine. To do that, we call the variable holding that value for us, which in this case, which is my dict. So here we'll just call my dict, then you put square bracket. So this square bracket means that you want to take a value, or you want to see a value, you want to add a value to it. So what are we going to do? Let's say we want to put phone number, then you put here colon here, then you put here phone, then you put the number of the phone number. So let's print again. Now what's just happened here is that we are just said, okay, you know what, add the phone to these values we have here. The value of the phone is this whatever number here. Now let's see if this is added for us. Then you pass my dict. Don't forget, my dict is what is holding the entire values. So if you run the code, my phone should be added to it, as you can see here. Now suppose now there is phone here, or there is name here. Okay, we have name here, and I call this again my dicts, and I then put here. Always put uh, string values in quote. So now I want to make use of name. As you can see here, this is my dict. This name here is here. Suppose here I then put here, who do I put here? Jack. So I put here Jack. What I'm saying here is that replace the value of name inside this place. Now we already have Noel here. So what I'm doing here is that since this name exists already, if we pass another value, it will replace the value. So let's see if that will happen. So if you use print method again, pass the variable containing the entire values, and then run it. Then you can see here name now has a new value, which is Jack. Previously, as you can see here, is Noel, but it has changed. So as you can see here, this is name here, the name is this one, and the new value is this. So this is used, you can use this one to replace whatever value you want. Now you can also use it to add a value that is not there. That is like what I did here before, phone, but it must come in pair. It must come in two. So you can see here, this is the phone, this is the number, so I put it there. Now suppose I want to get a number or a value that is not present. Let's say I bring my dict again, then I put here, so let's say email. Now this email is not there, and I'm asking the system to give me. So what this means is that you are looking for something you do not have in your variable. So this will give you error message that this is not found. So let's save it in another variable. Okay, let's just use AA. So just for sake of whatever. So again, let's print AA to see what it will give us. So if we run the code now, so as you can see here, key error. What that means is that there is no key called email here. So that's why it's giving this error. So in order for this not to happen, you should, if you do not get it we can use another method to do that. Now suppose for the sake of so let me comment this so it doesn't cause errors for us. So commenting is a way to make your code uh, uh, not to be executed. So now that I put a hashtag, what I've instructed the system to do is not execute this code for me. So this now becomes like a text, or like something to add additional information to whatever I'm doing. So that's what comment is meant for. So now let's say I want to get an item there. There are two ways to do that. You can use my dict here like we did above here and pass whatever thing here, like I have, let me say, name here. So if I run the code, assign it to another variable. So if I run the code, it will give me uh, the value of name. Okay, it says Jack. So this is a way to get an item from a value from dictionary. But in a way now that this does not exist, I can then use this one, this. If I use here like I did before, this email, and that email doesn't exist, it will give error like we saw before. So in order for this not to happen, I can use a method called get. So what does get do? Get does the same thing as what we have done so far. So what get does is that you have to specify the item you want to see. Let's say name. So because there is name here, it will give us the value we want. So let's save it to another variable. Let's call it BC, and then come down here to print it. So if we run the code, it will give us Jack because the value of name is now Jack. But suppose now this is not found, let's say email, because there is no email there. As you can see, we don't have any email here. But suppose now you do not know and you just assign it. Now it gives us none. What this is saying is that what you asked me to get is not found. So it will give you none. But if we use this one here, if you use this method, this line like this, it will give us error. Now, if we do not see it and you don't want it to show none, you can just pass another value here and say not found. So if we run the code now, instead of saying none, it will display not found. So as you can see, so this is a way to get an value in case that item is not found. Okay, so now suppose now we want to add multiple values in our dictionary, or we want to add additional. You can use maybe multiple or whatever number of items you can use. So we can use update. There's an update method there. So what you do here is you call the variable that you want to update the value, which is the one holding this. Then you put dot, then you see update method here. Now this update method is there for us to use. So what are you going to do? Always remember the syntax of dictionary, which is curly braces, and the curly braces must come in pair, the key and the value. So you then pass your curly braces here. So let's say we want to pass email, then we then say email. Don't forget to always use your colon to separate it. Then we then say, okay, our email should be Noel for excellence at gmail.com. So now what you have done is that we are now adding additional value to this. Let's add maybe 2 or 3. We have, okay, so what else can we put? Let's say best food, and then we can say the best food is rice. Okay, let's say complexion or what. Let's say what else can we say about Noel. Okay, let's say you have email, you have phone number, you have okay location. Let's say location, then you put colon here, and then you put here where is location. Okay, let's say Europe is third. So here, if you then we have, you can add as many uh, items that you want. So let's print what our dictionary will contain now. So let me recap what I did. Here, I use this variable because that is what is containing the entire thing, and because I want to update it, then I use that variable and I put dot, then put update. I then pass the values and the keys that I want, and if I run the code, it will add everything we have mentioned here to the original dictionary. As you can see here, it has added everything. Now, moving on, let's say we want to like let's get our variable. Then there are a lot of things you can do here. Let's say here, okay, if you use clear method, it will remove everything there. Okay, for let's do it now. Let's pass my dict here. So what I just did here is in this line 15, I called this variable containing the entire thing, and I then use a clear method to say remove every item there. So if it's removed, if I run this code, it means that this one, everything inside display becomes empty. And then if I'm printing that after I've cleared it, it will give me empty dictionary. So let's see. As you can see, it's giving an empty dictionary. Now, but for this purpose, I will just comment it because we're still using it. So what another thing we can do here is, there are a lot of things we can do here actually. So we call the method again, my dict, then you put dot. So let's say we have used updates, we have used get, we have used clear. Okay, let's use copy. So what does copy do? Copy, what copy does is that it copies the exact item inside there. Let me see, copy. Okay, let me use copy. I wanted to use copy the item. So here, what I'm saying here is that come to this place, I'm instructing the system. So programming or coding is actually instructions that you give to your system to carry out an or execute an instructions. So what I'm doing here is that I call again this variable that contains the entire value, and I said here copy everything inside this variable and pass it there. So this means that this variable called cop will have the same value that dict has. So both of them will have the same thing. So if I run this code, let me then copy cop. So here, if I run the code, it will give me the exact thing. So as you can see, it's giving me the exact thing. So another way again I can do this thing is that I can also say cop2 is equals to my dict. So what I am saying here is that everything inside my dict should be passed to cop2. If I run the code again, it will give me the same thing. Okay, so let me put something here just to check. Cop cop2 here. So here, let me run the code again. So as you can see here, cop2. So I just made it different from the first one. You can see here cop2. So it's the same thing. If you check here, all the same thing. So now let's see what else we can do here. Let's use cop2, or we can use our dictionary. Let's use our dictionary because that's what we started with. So say my dict here, my dict, then you put dot here. So let's check what you, okay, now I see values. So if I use values, what I'm saying here is I want you to print the values for me. What are the values? As you can see here, this is 10, another 10, this is jack, this is 22, this is number, and all that. So what I'm asking to do is that I'm asking the system to get me only the values. So in this, like in here, the value of email is Noel for excellence. The value for best food is rice. The value for location is Europe. So if I run the code like this, if I get this here, and let me assign it another variable, let's call it maybe val. So the name of the variable is val here, and I run the code. Let's print it. So if I run this code like this, it will give us only the values. As you can see here, the value is here. The first one is 10 here, the second one is 10. As you can see, name here, uh the value for name is jack, the value for 20 for age is 22, the value for phone is this, the value for email is this, and so on and so forth. And this is what it will give. So suppose now I want to see only the keys. What are the keys? The keys are the first ones here, like email here, like base food, like location, like one, two, name, and this, and the rest. So what am I supposed to do? Let's say let me call it keys one. Okay, so keys one will be our variable now. So I then put my dict. My dict is what is holding the entire value. I then put dot here and say keys. Then I run the code here. Let's say keys one. So what I'm simply doing is that I'm saying come to this place and get me the keys. The keys are the first item. Now when you fetch the entire thing, save it in a variable called keys1 and then print it for me. So if I run this code, it will give me only the keys. As you can see here, this is 1. So 1 is the key, so that is why you have here 2 here, this name here, age here, phone here, email. So this is what it will give you. So exactly whatever you put here as the first one, that's what it will show you here. So anything you put here, that's exactly what it will display here as your keys. While if you want value, it will give you the values. So let's see what else we can do here. Let's call my dict, then again you put dots here. We have, okay, let's see. Okay, now if we use items, what does items do? Items will print everything in pairs, like as it's showing here. So before we did here, we use here keys will give us only the keys, values will give us only the values. But if we use items will give us everything, both the key and the both the keys and the values. So let's say we want to get all the items. Let's assign the values. Let's assign whatever thing value we are getting from here into this place called items. Then let's print it. So if we run the code this way, if we run the code here, you will see it's giving us in pairs. As you can see here, the first one is here. Let's see here, this first one is 1 and 10. So you can see 1 and 10. The second one is 2 and 10. The third one is name and jack. The fourth one is age and 21. The fifth one is this one we added. The third one is whatever thing, and so forth. So this is how you use dictionary to get this. Now moving on, let's say we want to, there are other things we can do here. You put dot here, you can see here we have used updates, we have used get, we have used copy, we have used keys, item, values, we have used clear. Okay, we have set default, we have from keys. Okay, so suppose we want to remove an item there. So let's use pop. So anytime you want to remove an item here, you are expected to pass the value you want to remove. If it did not put it, suppose I forgot and I run this code, it will throw an error for me and says that it is expected an argument. What is an argument? An argument is like the value you want to remove. So that's what is expected of you here. So in order to do that, let me remove the first item, which is 1 here, 1 and 10. So I put here 1 here, and let me print it to see if 1 will still be there. So let's get my dict. So what I just did here is this. I'm just saying I want you to remove the item here. So let me run the code here, and as you can see, 1 and its value has been removed. If I want another one again, let me say again my dict pop here, and I then pass the, let's say, 2 here, in case I just want to remove all the numbers, and then print my dict again. Let's run the code and see what it will give us. It will remove 2 there. You can see name has now become the first item. Okay, so now if we what else can we do? Okay, we have my dict. So here I've used okay, let's use pop item. So what does this pop item do? If you do not specify what you want to remove, it will randomly remove an item. So let's see which one it will remove among them. So you pass again my dict here. Don't forget to always pass my dict in your message on your method. It could be my dict, it could be any of your variable. So let's run the code again. As you can see here, let's see which one did you remove. We have name here, we have age, we have phone, we have email, we have base food. So it removed location. So location is the last item that is removed. Okay, so now if we want to let's use that again. We use my dict, then pop items, then let's say we want to remove email here, email. Okay, 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 this is not expected to use this. So what this does is that it removes the last items added. It removes an item though, not necessarily the last item. So let's um, do that. Run this code again. It will remove um, another one. It removed best food. It removed the last uh, location before. It removed the location. Now it removed best food. So we're now left with this. But suppose I pass an item here. Let's say I pass what's it called, email, as I wanted to put here, email here. Let's see what it will give us. It's likely going to give us an error because this is not the syntax. Nothing is expected to be passed, is to be given here. This is not what is expected to be put here. Let's say uh, we pass number here as well, it will still give you the same error. So you are not supposed to pass any argument here. So you just leave it here. So this one is used to remove an item on its own. So if you run the code, it will remove the item we have added, the last items. So if I copy this and run it 2 times, uh, it will remove the email. So let's see what will happen if I run the code again 2 times. So if I run it, as you can see, email has been removed. So now we have 2 methods left here. So let's say my dict here, and we have here We have used pop, we have used pop item, we have used get, updates, copy, items, keys, value, this. So the last two we have not used are this set default and from keys. So let's see how we can use these two. So here, let's say we have here a list of items. Let's say a list of fruits. Let's say apple here. We have mango here. The other one we have cherry here. And what other one? Cashew. Okay, then let's save it in a variable here. Okay, let's call it fruits. All right, so now let's then save another excuse me, let's create another variable. Let's call it d1, and then we call we then use my dict. Then dict, this is a keyword reserved in Python, so this is dictionary. Now you put this method here. So what are we doing here? We just say, okay, fine, we want to convert this to to want to convert this to dictionary for us. Okay, sorry, we want to convert it to dictionary, so we then put dots from keys. So what we did here is we want to use that from keys to convert this. As you can see, this is a list, but you want to assign a value that is common to all of them to have dictionary. Let me explain what I mean by that. What I mean is that I want to give all of these the same values. So these ones will now become the keys, while 10 will now become the value for each of them. So now what this will do is that every item inside this fruit here, this apple will now become a key, 10 will now become the value, mango become the key, 10 become the value, cherry become the key, this become the value. You can also use this, suppose maybe you have some products and you want all of them to have the same price, so you can make it this way. So let's say now we print the one. Let's see what it will give us. So if we run the code, as you can see here, apple is now 10, mango has 10 quantity, cherry the same thing, cashew the same thing. I hope you're able to get through of everything we have said for so far. And if you have any challenge, you have any issue during your your learning, and you think you need more explanation, you can reach out to me, and I'll be happy to assist. Don't forget to comment, like, and share your opinion, and so that to keep making more videos. Thank you, and see you next time. Oh, sorry, I think there is another one. Day one here. Which one was it? Did I put? Okay, let me use my dictionary. Okay, which one is that? Set as default. Okay, so in this case, let's say we have a dictionary. Now let's call this d2 d2 and let's say here we have a, and we assign 5 to it, and b we are sorry, b we assign uh 10 to it. Okay, c we assign we assign 15 to it, but then we do not have d. Let's see how we can do that. So we can then see d2 here dot set default. So what am I saying? What I want to do here is that, let me say I want to get okay, let me say A, B, C, D. Okay, let me say D here. Then I can then pass a value I want here. So what I'm doing here is I'm instructing the system to fetch this value called D from D2. But as you can see here, it is not there. We can, this D is not there. So if you do not do it this way, to give error. So if I run the code here, if I run the code now, okay, so as you can see here, D has been added to this. But if I do not do it this way, it will give error. So what I'm saying is that what instruction I did here is that I'm telling the system, fetch me D from display, but if it's not D, create a new one for me, add this one, make it a dictionary for me here. So, and that's exactly what just happened. I hope we have covered everything here uh, in dictionary. Yeah, we have met, yeah, staple, pop, item, everything. Okay, so the rest of these things are what we can do later on, but for now the basic ones have been covered, and majorly that's what we've been working with. So I hope you're able to understand everything we have done so far. Like I said before, if you have any challenge, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to help you, especially when I'm free. See you next time, and don't forget to comment, subscribe, and share the videos to help another person. God bless you. See you next time. Bye.